What's up, everybody? Welcome to Planet Massage 2ABB. I know you might be asking yourself, what are we doing here? Why are we here? This is so different. This is not a game about ants. This is not a game about beavers. But it is a game about building factories. And in case you didn't know, the name of this game is Satisfactory. And today we're doing something special. It's something I never thought I would even see. And this video is pretty much just a thank you letter. Thank you so much to my 10 subscribers. That's right, folks. We have reached a milestone, 10 real subscribers. And I wanted to do something special for them. And for you, if you're watching this. I wanted to showcase some of my builds on Satisfactory as a thank you to my 10 subscribers. I'm going to name them right now. Starting with the first, named Say It, thank you very much. Rudy Mont, thank you very much. Aaron Wallace, thank you very much. Yasser Yasin, thank you very much. Andrew Cole, thank you very much. And number 10, Recycled Primates, thank you very much. I know what you're thinking. That's only 7 names, but that's because we have 3 private subscribers that I can't see their name. Their user is private, so I can't see who they are, but thank you to the 3 of you. Wish I could call you out by name. Anyway, before we get to look at any of the bases, any of the builds that I've done here, I just wanted to say that I have played roughly 800 hours in this game, and by no means do I consider myself to be, skilled in this game. I feel like I've just, breached the novice ceiling, and I'm working my way towards amateur status. But I've gotten pretty far. We're in photo mode right now, so you can't really see what all we've got, but we're pretty far. We got some stuff going. If you look at the top left here, you can see our objective phase. We've got to get to phase 4. We've already got 1 out of 4 items necessary completed, but yeah, there's still a whole nother phase. And if you don't know anything about this game, well, let's take a look at some stuff. And we're here in an area that I'm going to try and not go all crazy with my mouse, because I'm a whiplash person. I like to my little ADHD rattled brain goes crazy looking at stuff. But what is this factory? What does this facility do? Well, it starts back there where we were with the Caterium mine. And Caterium is this game's, gold analog. So we're taking this gold and we're processing it up above here. This is just what's considered a logistics floor. It's an attempt to keep things pretty. And like I said, it's mostly function over form for me at this point, because believe it or not, in 800 hours, this is the furthest I've ever gotten in this game. This is the deepest into the tech tree, the most phases I've ever completed. So this time I was just like, alright, I'm not going to get sidetracked by building something colossal and try and detail it out before we get to the end. So that's what we did here. But this facility, anyway, it takes the Caterium ore, combines it with some water. Sorry, I'm already going back to the ADHD brain. But here's our water pumps, right? And it takes the water, Caterium ore, and turns it into Caterium ingots. So I'm using an alternate recipe you can see up here. This game is like Factorio, but in first person, and it's crazy. Let's have a look here. So from this facility here, this refinery facility, it comes up into these constructors, and it turns into quick wire. And we have I believe it's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 12. So 12 times 60, that's 720 per minute. Two lines of 360 per minute. We're just cranking them out because it's one of the things that we need in bulk, right? And this is the beginning of a train station. Yeah, first-person trains, right? We're gonna head out this way. I want to show off before we go anywhere else. I mean, I would love to start at the beginning where it all began, but there's so much to show. And oh yeah, there's also enemies in this game. Somehow I have been able to have no aggro in this playthrough, and I'm still getting my achievements, so I'm okay with that. Anyway, let's take a look. There's another train. Hopefully it's right there. Damn, we just missed it. That's okay. We can follow it. Oh yeah, there's also a jetpack. There's so many cool things in this game. I fell in love with it right away. It's kind of like the greatest Minecraft mod of all time, right? Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but you know, you can build things, you can automate stuff. It's just great. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Here we go. So we got some train lines here, and we've got a little bit of train logic. It's just, simple logic. One section of rail that needs to be monitored, and then if there's a train in it, it prevents the other one from going. But you can get really complex in this game. A lot of times the things that you produce have byproducts that you need to deal with. So it isn't just a matter of, oh, let's produce this. It's a matter of, let's produce this, but it also gives me this other thing. What am I going to do with that, So here's where that train line, here's where that train line terminates. Let's see what it pumps out here. Looks like it's copper bars. That copper bars gets split amongst these constructors, which are creating wire. Oh, those are creating wire, and these are creating copper sheets. And we're doing something else over here with that. Oh, this, by the way, is some refineries for crude oil. What are we producing here? Fuel. Yeah, this is our very first fuel generator power plant. You can see them down there. Try not to get distracted, but basically it takes crude oil, pumps it out there, turns it into fuel. Fuel goes down, power. Great. This little facility here combines some of the stuff. So it looks like that wire was combined into cable, and then that cable is sent over here to this manufacturer. Sorry, I'm trying not to do anything crazy here, but it's just hard for me. It's just like I gotta zip around. This assembler is creating microchips out of plastic and copper sheets. It sends everything to this manufacturer here to create computers, and then we have this if we need computers. Another cool thing about this game is that you can send items to this thing called the Awesome Sink, and it lets you print out these coupons if you get enough points. And once you get enough coupons, you can buy items in the Awesome Shop. Do we have an Awesome Shop here? Let's see if we can make it. Awesome Shop. Nope. Don't have any screws. Can we make screws? They changed this. This playthrough is in 1.0, but current patch is 1.1. So your mileage may vary with what you see here. Things might be different, but yes. Also, by the way, if there's any veterans of Satisfactory, we are manually creating screws on camera, if you can believe it. Something that you just can't get away from, If you look here, I got some very high profile goals left to achieve. Uh, yeah, very high profile. These are nearing the end game here. Let's see, now we can make the awesome shop. So just so you all can see, oh, don't pay no attention to the name on the tag there. You can buy, if you have enough coupons, you can buy stuff. Conveyor hole. Oh my god, this is freaking amazing. This is amazing. I need to get back into this game. I have not played it since 1.1 dropped. Holy shit. So I'm super excited to see what they've added and stuff like that. But you can tell here that I've see this elevator? Like I'm in love with this right here. I could have used this, so many times. I mean, look at all this. Never seen any of this. This cabling? Get out of here. All right. And the ventilation? Yeah. Okay. We need to somehow get back into this game. Anyway. Yeah. So that's what you do with the coupons. You can buy anything really. You can even buy up to and including, almost the endgame items, right? So this facility is basically a computer manufacturing facility, and again, function over form, but it also, allows us to package some excess heavy oil residue because, I mean, there's drones and whatnot in this game. You can do all kinds of different logistical challenges and implementations, trains, trucks, anything you can think of. But this facility basically, it just, it creates rubber and plastic. This is our main rubber and plastic manufacturing facility, as well as some supplemental power. We have a very powerful turbo fuel refinery power facility over there on the other side of the red bamboo forest that we'll look at as well. But I just figured I'd start here because of trains. And let's wait over here because this train that we saw in the distance is going to make its way back over here, and we can hitch a ride. But as you can see here, my building skills, unparalleled building skills, the switchback of Mount Doom up here. At the top of this switchback there is a bauxite node which we are drawing from, and we are using a train which is fairly fast, right, and efficient to bring large quantities of this bauxite ore, a primary resource, to our production facility where we can refine it and turn it into usable items. But it's so far away from anything else that we need, because it isn't like, oh, here it comes before we lose sight of it. But it isn't like you just take this bauxite and slap it into a smelter and it turns into something useful. You got to combine it with water or other items, and that's not up there. So you either got to bring that water up there, which, if you haven't played this game, the fluid dynamics in this game are just, they're next level. So anytime you can avoid drawing or bringing the water to a place, the better. So look, see, this is what I was talking about. There's our train logic in action. This train is going to slow down and wait because the shared rail is occupied. But once it's opened, once the shared rail is no longer occupied, it allows itself to go through. Amazing, right? People say trains in this game are hard. Anyway, I really like this game a lot. Like I said, I mean, you don't play something for 800 hours if you don't enjoy it, right? But it's so complex, and there's been so many times where I've hit the wall of I just can't do it anymore. I'd love to be able to record this game. And again, I didn't build any of this with the intention of showing it off to anybody, but I just figured, I wanted to get and do something special for the 10 people that said, you know what, we enjoy what you're doing enough to subscribe to you, or we want to see more of this kind of content from other people even. We want to support these kind of creators, and I think that's very awesome. you know, I'm grateful for that because I'm humbled by it, really. Um, you know, it's a goal I never thought I would see. So, anyway, we just glossed over like a ton of stuff here. Anyway, so the bauxite is coming out of the um, train. Oh, it's going to crush us. It's being delivered. And as you can see here, it's being pulled out of the train station at an alarming rate into these dual, I don't know, storage chambers. Like, I don't know what buffer is what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for. And from there, it gets split between these two refineries. And what do these refineries do? Well, like I said, it takes bauxite and water, combines it into alumina solution. This alumina solution, you then have to combine with coal to create aluminum scrap and some byproduct of pure water, right? So what we've done is we've created a loop where we utilize this excess water and we turn it into alumina solution again. Now, how does it work? Because you might think, hey, that's going to get backed up, right? Well, here's the deal. There's like a little quirk in the game where it always draws from the top of a junction, of a pipe junction first. Fluid dynamics, like I said, it's a little bit wonky. You got to know how it works in order to best utilize the practices, because there's a lot of times where people will say, oh, don't do this, don't do that. When we see what we're dealing with in this world, we do a lot of that stuff. But this is called a priority junction or a VIP junction, where it draws this water first. So as you can see, these pipes are full, but these machines are empty. And that's because even though we're producing 240 meters cubed of water per minute out of those two other refineries, we're using 400 water meters cubed per minute in our alumina refineries, right? Again, alternate recipes. One of the hallmarks of this game is being able to change up how you produce things with alternate recipes. And honestly, Coffee Stain, the developer of this game, is they're on another level when it comes to this stuff. I mean, this is easily top 5, top 3, maybe even my favorite game of all time right here. Even though I have never beat it, just because of the exercise, the mental exercise you can put into this. I know Factorio, Granddaddy, I love it. I've never played it, believe it or not, and I know that's probably blasphemy, but this game scratches that itch. So then, let's get back to what we're doing here. So you saw, if you saw that truck, see that truck in the distance? It drops off at this truck station, ton of coal. And again, like we were talking about, that's the logistical challenge, right? Everything in this game is very far apart. Very far apart. And one of the main challenges is, how do you get those resources together? Because there's a lot of ways, right? You can do basic refinement near the node and transport that resource. You can it's so mind-bogglingly deep and complex that yeah, I'm sure there are best practices, but at the end of the day, it's a single-player game, and you effectively have infinite resources. You cannot utilize every node on this map. Impossible. You will hit the object limit if your computer doesn't melt first, right? So there's no way that you're ever going to run out of anything. So just do whatever you feel like in this game. It's glorious. It's just so much fun. And the mental exercise, like I said, it's one of my favorite things. So this is and as you can see here, one of the other things is uptime, right? Efficiency. We have 100% efficiency on all of these, every single one of these machines, right? Every one of these machines, 100% efficient, right? That's what we're looking for. 100% efficiency. No downtime. They're always running. And that's a lot of machines to do all that. And how are we doing that? Because, I mean, at this point, we're not using any of the aluminum ingots, but this was this other part of it, in that we were combining copper and aluminum to create casings, and also ironclad sheets, because not ironclad, aluminum clad, all clad aluminum sheets. When you create, like you see here in the build mode, it takes items to make buildings and things like that. So, you know, we need all these items to do the different stages, right, of the belts. And those aluminum clad, all clad plates are for conveyor belt Mark V's. And in order to achieve, at the very beginning there, we had 720 per minute. In order to achieve that, we need the Mark V belts. But anyway, that's because we're in the process of implementing a drone base here to send it off somewhere else. So there's a lot going on in this game at any point, right? And you know, not that we didn't have a lot of stuff already. You know, we decided to cut that off at a good point. Let's head this way. So the main point of this game is to send things up the space elevator, and I don't know what's glitched right now, but maybe it's just because it's cloudy. But eventually it'll come back. There's a giant space station up there. You can see the lights. You can see the lights moving if you look very closely. They look like a constellation of stars. There it is. See the space station? Yeah. Okay. So that's the whole point of the game, is to send up these special items that you can see here on the top right of the screen. And this is the hub. This is where you start basically the whole game. And you can put it anywhere you want, right? You can delete it, but and replace it. But this is essentially your home. And you know, we need to complete phase 4, and we only have one more tier left to unlock, and that's it. And we're done. That's how far into the game we are. But yeah, this is my little test proving ground, right? My little facility where I brute force things or test out maths, and you know, because you can get extremely granular, right? Like this goes to the, I think like 1,000th decimal, right? Yeah, 10,000th decimal. That's nuts. So you can get extremely granular, and that's really what I like to do, because the one thing that I want more than anything in this game is to have no downtime on any machine that's running. And if you look at any of our facilities, it's pretty much how it goes. Even though our power on the other side is a little bit wonky right now, and I don't know why, but I'm sure something is broken. And again, I was probably in the process of you know, rebuilding something, which is generally the case in this game. But here's the other side of the... Oh, obligatory wipe text. Hold, please. Hold. This is the other side of that coal train. Yeah, if you know coal train, you're a real one. Oh, wrong way. We need to go up. We need to go up. But yeah, that's where the coal comes from to produce the aluminum in that aluminum facility up there. Right now we're climbing. We're going to some of the more dangerous places in this game. But again, for some reason, somehow, I was able to bypass that and still get credit for it. But here's a good example. There's a big patch of nodes right there, and that's what you begin to mine. And then you build up around it, whatever you like. And you know, what might be the greatest Minecraft mod ever achieved. And these little drop pods here, they are where you find the alternate recipes. Those are all escape pods that have crash landed on this planet, and you're able to extract the information from them if you have the required items on you to unlock them. But this beautiful pink forest here is probably the most dangerous area in the whole game. One thing to note is if you are afraid of spiders, you may not like this game due to some of the enemies. But, you know, they're just chill cats sometimes too. Alright, we're coming up on one of our main facilities here. This is our main power facility. And as I said, you know, I kind of tried to do some beautification just to see kind of how it could look, what we might be able to achieve. But at the same time, I needed to push through in order to get as far as I did, right? It takes so long to do anything, right? Because you're building everything by hand. And in case you haven't noticed, I have not used a single blueprint in this world. I was still learning by hand how to do things. I didn't place a single blueprint in this whole world. So I feel like in the future, utilizing blueprints will really help me to build quicker and get through the game faster to a point where I can beautify the things the way that I want. But let's take a look down here and see what we're looking at. And maybe we can troubleshoot really quickly why it doesn't work to full effect as it should. But this is essentially, like I said, this is a turbo fuel power plant where we create, and this is something that I need to address right here, of course. The truck logistics in this game can sometimes be a little bit, yeah, like that. Insane. But, you know, I still love it for all its quirks. Anyway, turbo fuel, what is it? It is crude oil turned into heavy oil residue. Heavy oil residue is sent into this blender combined with water to turn into fuel. There's a series of assemblers here in this small building that turns coal from up here that gets carried down this shaft, and sulfur that this truck delivers goes to pick up sulfur. You can see it faintly on the belt in the back there. Hold on. To the right, you can see the blue of the sulfur mining rig. It picks up its goods and then it heads back around, drops them off at this point here where it refuels because we have enough. And we should really, let's go look, because I think up there is just absurd value for the percentage of items that come out of that rig up there. It's just what I mean when I say that the links I'll go to be efficient, 100% uptime. But this is pretty much going to be the last thing we look at because, you know, it's all the same, but I just wanted to show some stuff. Yeah, look at this, 148.3333% to get exactly 178 items per minute. And is it still at 100% efficiency? 96% efficiency. So we're cruising. We might have an issue with our sulfur, which we can take a look at here. If we can find our way into the logistics den. I think it's here. I think this way leads into it. Yeah, this is the way. This is show me the way. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, so we're full on all this. And then those turn the coal and sulfur into compacted coal. The compacted coal then travels along this belt with the fuel, where it exits this simple, well, not this simple factory, but this first stage factory, and makes its way across. Maybe we're just not producing it fast enough. I don't know what the problem is here, but we should be producing exactly enough to make just enough turbo fuel. Oops, that's not good. 100% efficiency. What about the last one in line? 66% efficiency. See, so we just haven't fully saturated this line with compacted coal yet, is what it seems like, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, it's getting there. Okay. So after the compacted coal and the fuel combine in these refineries, they get shipped off to these little pods of fuel generators, and each individual produces 250 per minute, or 250 megawatts of energy. And I think at this point we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 25 times 250, I believe, is 12,500, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be the amount of power that we're generating. There it is. Oh no, never mind. That should get higher than that anyway. But we're steadily producing 10,725 at this point. It's just a matter of time before it gets fully saturated. But, so here's one of the things, right? We are producing heavy oil residue here as an alternate recipe. And this heavy oil residue, which was a byproduct of some of the other items, if you remember from the mainline rubber and plastic refineries on the coast, on those islands over on the other side of the map, the byproduct was heavy oil residue, and we used that in a byproduct way. Well, now we've decided we want to create that as our main focus, and the byproduct is going to be this polymer resin. Well, we also have to account for that polymer resin. And how are we going to do that? Well, we are going to take that polymer resin and we are going to turn it into something useful for us. Oh, yeah, we also take this coal and sulfur and we turn it into black powder, which we send down and combine with the polymer resin. No, the polymer resin does something else, yeah. We combine this with like plastic or something. I don't remember. Damn it, what did I take out of there? Just delete it, I don't even care. We combine it with the heavy oil, some excess heavy oil residue. There you go. And we create 20 smokeless powder per minute. And smokeless powder is what we need to create rifle ammo. You can see here it takes copper sheets and smokeless powder. And then here is where we combine our polymer resin with water to create rubber in a residual way. And then we send that rubber over here, and we're able to recycle that rubber, turn it into plastic with a little bit of excess fuel that we create. So this facility creates a ton of stuff, and that's really the main logistical challenge of this game, right? Yes, you want to create this one item. Some items that you want to create require multiple other items. Some items you create also create byproducts. And how do you deal with all that? You know, that's the key. And you know, maybe this is the glimpse into something new for this channel, but you know, I'd really love to play this game on camera. I feel like that's the drive that I need to finish this one. This is something I really want to do. Is complete this game. I feel like it's a major milestone in gaming for me that I'd love to achieve. So, you know, maybe we'll do something like that. But for now, this is a love letter, and a thank you very much to my 10 subscribers and anybody else that watches these videos. I know I said it before. If you watch 5 seconds, if you watch 30 minutes, if you watch whatever amount you watch, I'm grateful for you. Until next time, take care.